everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. If you are new, my name is Shannon. I have a little boy called Buzz who is 2 years old and I am currently pregnant with my second little boy. So I thought I would sit down today and just do like a second trimester kind of catch up and just like overview, recap. Just talk about my like essentials during this time, kind of medical update. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. I would really appreciate it. I've finally hit 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing, so thank you so much if you have subscribed. I really do appreciate having you here on this channel and I would love to just keep growing it. So yeah, please do subscribe if you haven't already and you do like to watch my videos. First of all, I thought I'd just sit down and talk about kind of symptoms and just how I've been feeling and like any differences from the first trimester and everything like that. To be honest, this isn't something I've been like super mindful of during this process. Like I feel like with my first pregnancy, which I did also document, I will try and leave the like playlist below, but with my first pregnancy, I think everyone says this, but I was super tuned into it. It was lockdown, so there wasn't loads else going on. Like it really was my main focus during that time, and yeah, I noticed every new little change and like wrote it down in my notes on my phone and everything like that. Whereas this time round, I have a toddler who keeps me very busy. I run a small business and just general life is just, I've just not, it's gone by a lot quicker this time, and I've not like, I don't know, I've not worried about things in the same way, or kind of, you know, you don't even necessarily like notice some things. It's just like, ah, there's another ache and pain and whatever. First of all, I was being sick until I was about 14 or 15 weeks, so just into the first couple of weeks of the second trimester. I think it was around then anyway, that I stopped being sick. I am now in the third trimester, and little sneak peek secret, I have been sick a good few times in the third trimester, but generally aside from those first couple of weeks, the second trimester, no sickness whatsoever. Really weird how it just suddenly disappears. And when you're in that first trimester and you are being sick a lot or feeling nauseous or whatever, like it does feel like, oh my gosh, this is the worst time ever, especially with a toddler. Like I feel like the first time round, my first pregnancy, I was really lucky that I wasn't actually sick, but I felt nauseous a lot. I could just kind of wallow in that and like, I don't know. Whereas this time with a toddler who's like standing next to you making retching noises and whatever else, or crying or whatever is going on, like it is hard and it feels like it's never going to end, but it does. So I will say, like, if you are still being really sick like into the second trimester, definitely speak to your midwife or GP, because I know that they can prescribe you something which hopefully would help. Carpal tunnel is something that I've had since my first pregnancy. It didn't necessarily go away after I had my little boy. To be honest, I didn't really, even in my first pregnancy, I had numb tingling hands a lot during the night or when I woke up in the morning, but I didn't really think much of it, like, because I sleep on my hands sometimes and I just thought it was just that. But actually as time went on, I started to have a few more issues, like once my little boy was kind of around the age of 1 and things, and it actually turns out that I've got arthritis in one of my hands and carpal tunnel. So yeah, I've not actually noticed that it's got worse in this pregnancy. I feel like it's just kind of stayed the same from my first pregnancy. It has had a little peak, like I said, when my little boy was about 1, but during this pregnancy, I've not really noticed it being any worse, so touch wood, that's all good. Heartburn I've had, I don't feel like I've had it as bad as my first pregnancy, I don't think. I feel like in my first pregnancy it was like really unbearable sometimes, and it is bad sometimes now, but it's nothing that like 1 or 2 Rennies doesn't get rid of generally. And I'd say I have that kind of probably like 3 or 4 times a week. Of an evening I'll have heartburn, but it's not like, I don't know, certain foods and things as well, like throughout the day I might get it if I eat like caramel or like, I don't know, garlicky things or whatever. Certain things do make it worse, but generally I don't suffer too badly with it at the minute. My bump this time round feels so much bigger. Like I feel so much bigger, and I am so much bigger. Like I started off a bigger size than I was when I first fell pregnant with my first little boy. So yeah, I already had more body weight, but my bump is definitely, I don't know, I feel like I was looking full term at like 20 weeks. Like yeah, I've got a bump and I love having a bump. Like I'm not someone who is, I don't know, I know some people really struggle with their body changing when they're pregnant, and I think that, I don't know, for me personally, I'm a bigger girl, and when I've got a bump I feel a lot more confident because I've got like a reason to have a big belly. Do you know what I mean? But I know everyone is entirely different, but yeah, I put something like this on my Instagram the other day and had quite a few people actually agree with me, but then I do also see the other side as well. But I know that some people find it really offensive. Me personally, I have no issue with it whatsoever. I think partly because, like I say, my first pregnancy was in lockdown and I didn't see anyone, like no one really saw me pregnant, like at all. And so I didn't really have that kind of conversation or acknowledgement of being pregnant, do you know what I mean? But secondly, I just think it's such an honor to be pregnant, and it's such like a blessing, and I'm so grateful. And of course, getting a bump is part of that process, and I like to visibly see, you know, like especially I feel like, so in the first trimester, you feel really ill, or you look really rough, or whatever else. Like my skin was really bad, I looked so tired because I was like sick in the night, and like whatever else, I was like not looking cute, and I had no bump. So I felt like I was walking around looking horrendous and people couldn't visibly see why. And then now I've got a bump and I'm like, I'm pregnant and people can see it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, I just like having a bump, but I do feel like it is a lot bigger this time around, and also a lot heavier. Like I feel like I have to, I don't know, I think I'm gonna look into like maybe like a bump support band or something, because I do wear some maternity like leggings and trousers and things, and they are great, but I still feel like they don't like fully, I feel like I could just do with someone like holding underneath my bump all the time. I feel like I'm waddling already, I've got like an achy back when I stand up, sit down, whatever, rolling over in bed. I just like, I feel like I go to sleep on one side and I just wake up on that one side. Like there's no tossing and turning, because if I want to roll over, it's like a mission. I have to really fully like put all of my effort into it. So yeah, I just feel like I feel a lot further along earlier on than I did last time. My skin, I mean, I've got makeup on and I don't know, I feel like this lighting is very, very flattering, but I do have you can't really see as well, I've got like, I've had like hormonal skin, like my neck, my chin, my jaw, my cheeks, like, you know, all the places that if you're prone to hormonal breakouts, like when you're on your period or whatever, I've had that like throughout the pregnancy. Oh, having some little kicks, he keeps kicking like really low down, like sometimes I feel like he is kicking like and he's gonna come out. It feels like he's trying to break out sometimes. I've not had as many cravings, or at least as strong cravings. Like every now and again, like there's certain things like steak. I like medium rare steak, and you can't have that when you're pregnant, I don't think. And yeah, so I've not. But oh my goodness, like if I ever see like a picture of it on Instagram or in a restaurant if someone walks past and there's like a steak, or oh my gosh, I just really want steak. So it's hard to have a craving of something that you can't have, but once this baby's here, I am gonna have the best steak and I cannot wait. I've been really thirsty, so I harp on about these all the time, but I just constantly have one of these full of like juice or water, and then I have been having an iced coffee a day. So here's my iced coffee, decaf, delicious. And yeah, I rely on those cups. Like I have one to go to bed with, and yeah, I really drink a lot throughout the day. I really have just been enjoying like drinks with ice, like really cold drinks like squash, fruity, ice lollies. I've spoke about these in my favourites video. There's a specific ice lolly, the Rowntree's one, that has like 3 different fruits. I think it's a strawberry, orange and an apple, and they're like on a stack and they are delicious. I would have one of those every day, but I have tried to be good and I have one every other day maybe. But yeah, they've been a mega craving. So yeah, just kind of juicy, fruity things like fresh fruit I've been loving. But I think that is everything in terms of cravings, I think. Medical stuff. So like I said, I am a bigger girl. I was seen as like high risk this time around, where I wasn't last time, but I should have been last time. It just wasn't put down last time. So I feel like I've had like a bit of a different experience this time around. And yeah, like I don't love it. I've documented my previous like pregnancy and birth story and birth vlog and everything like that, so I won't spend too long on it. But basically with my first little boy, I had a home birth and it was the best thing in the whole world. Like I feel so lucky and grateful to be someone who honestly would do it again in a heartbeat, and hopefully will have an amazing experience like that again. I'm a little bit apprehensive because I feel like, how could someone get that lucky twice? Like I know that for so many people, birth can be really traumatic and just not go the way that they hoped or planned. And yeah, that is very much in my head that that could be me this time round, because I was very, very lucky with my first pregnancy. My voice keeps running out. I think it's because I always end up filming these videos when I'm due to go and get my little boy from nursery, so I'm like rushing through them. But yeah, I basically had a really positive first birth experience, and it wasn't until very last minute last time that I decided to have a home birth. And I think at that point, that was when, so the whole way through my first pregnancy, I was told that I was like, had no risk, was able to have whatever birth I wanted, and etc, etc. And then I think it got to like my 36-week appointment, something like that, and the midwife I saw at that appointment was one I'd not seen before, and she was like, I don't know who's told you that you're not high risk, because you are high risk, and no way can you have a water birth on a midwife-led unit. You'll have to be on the labour ward, maternity ward, whatever. It was like really distressing, upsetting. I felt like I'd had the rug pulled from under my feet. I'd planned a water birth in the midwife unit the whole way through, and I just never envisioned myself giving birth like on a labour ward, on a hostel bed. Like I'm not a fan of hospitals. I know that probably not many people are, but I'm not someone who felt like I had to be in a hospital to feel safe and secure. And so when they said that I wouldn't be able to use their maternity unit, like their birthing centre, I started to look into home births and stuff. I feel like, because I don't know, I feel like they were still against me having a home birth, but because it was so near the end, I kind of just said this is what I was doing, and that was that. And like, I don't know, whereas this time around, I feel like because I've said it from the very off, they've been able to say to me, we don't want you to have a home birth, we don't think you should have one, it's like against medical advice, etc. And I don't know, I am still very much intending to have a home birth. We've got the birthing pool from last time, and that would be like my ideal. We don't really have easy childcare up here. We're not like around loads of friends and family up here. So depending on when I went into labour, like childcare for my toddler might be tricky, but obviously if it was at home, that would just be a little bit easier. In an ideal world, I will have a home water birth again, and I'll be able to be relaxed, and it will all go easily and well, and won't need to transfer into hospital, no tears, all of that stuff. That was last time, and I was really lucky, and I really hope I have the same experience again. However, I feel like I am having to kind of stick up for myself with this, and I've kind of not spoken about it too much more to them since like I had a consultant appointment probably about, I want to say like 24 weeks or something like that. I had a phone call with him and I mentioned a home birth, and he was like we really wouldn't say that you were a candidate for a home birth kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it is our decision, and they can advise us based on their kind of facts and whatever else, but kind of research has shown that previous birth and your own personal experience is actually a better indicator of future births than statistics that are kind of designed to fit the mold to everyone who has a certain weight or height or whatever. So I don't know, unless there is like a really specific medical reason to myself and to this baby that I shouldn't have a home water birth, like, we will be going for it. Obviously, if there's any indication that it's dangerous or it's not right, or, you know, there's anything that seems unsafe about it, we won't do it. We're not gonna put this baby's life at risk. Being at a higher risk of something doesn't mean you're at a high risk of something. So they say, like, people who are overweight are at a higher risk of having medical intervention with a birth or having issues with birth. It might well be that normal sized, normal weight people might have a 1% chance of an issue like arising and needing intervention, and overweight people might have a 1.2% chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a higher chance, but it doesn't mean it's a high chance. So it's really up to you and like us to do our research and to know what we feel comfortable with, basically. I just feel like it's something I'm really passionate about, and like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I know best and I'm like, I know anything more than anyone else, but I do just know that I've like done a lot of hypnobirthing, done a lot of research, and from that I've kind of made my own decisions on what I do and don't think is like safe and acceptable and whatever else. So yeah, of course, if there's anything that arises, then we will go to hospital, but hopefully we'll have a really easy time like last time. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, medical wise, because of my BMI, I have been told that I need to have some additional growth scans of baby. I'm gonna go for the growth scans because I want to see the baby, and I know that this could be an opportunity for them to say, oh, your baby's looking a bit too big, so we wouldn't recommend a home birth because it's too big, etc. But again, I do think growth scans, people say you do have to take with a bit of a pinch of salt. They can be kind of wrong, and I know people who have been induced because they were told that their baby was measuring way too big or way too small from the scans, and then when they've had the induction, the baby's come out at like a perfectly average normal size or weight. I had a gestational diabetes test at about, I really don't know, I want to say like 21 weeks or something like that. That was all fine. I didn't have it. I've got to go for another one in a week or so. I know that some people have been retested like every 2-3 weeks because of their BMI, like the hospital or consultants or whatever kind of refuse to believe that they don't have gestational diabetes because of their weight. But again, just because you're a bigger person doesn't mean you're going to get gestational diabetes. It is just like a higher risk. So yeah, I'm gonna go for that because again, I don't want to miss having that and like it cause any harm to me or to the baby, but hopefully I'll continue this pregnancy without it. And the other thing is now from 28 weeks, so yeah, that was in the second trimester that started, but I'm obviously now in the third trimester. I have to go for fortnightly midwife appointments to have my blood pressure checked and to have the urine sample test thing done. So yeah, that's kind of the medical side of things, I think. Lastly, I thought I would just touch on some essentials or things that I've just found really helpful during my second trimester. First of all, like I said, big old water bottle or big old cup. I'm biased because I make these, I'm not going to bang on about it, but I do have a Etsy shop that I always link in my videos, and yeah, I drink, these are 24 ounces I think, and I drink loads of these every day, not of coffee, don't worry, but of like water or squash or whatever. From a glass, I don't drink that much because I'll have it and then after like half an hour or so, I feel like dust gets on there, or like, you know, like it's just an open glass, it gets warm. Like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. Whereas a water bottle or a sippy cup like that with a straw, I do just like tend to sip from a lot more. So cup like that I really am a fan of. My pregnancy pillow, which I've got right here. This is just a super basic pregnancy pillow. It's just a U-shaped pillow. I know you can get ones that are really expensive, really fancy, but I've had this one since my first pregnancy and it served me well. I tend to sleep with it like I'll cuddle it, like I'll have one bit between my legs, because by having one leg raised like that, it helps with back issues when you're sleeping, or at least it does for me. So yeah, I think that was only about like 20-30 pounds, maybe 15, I can't remember, to be honest. It was a couple of years ago that I got it from Amazon, and that's like a Mamas and Papas one, I think, from there. You can get ones that are like £100 or whatever, and people say they're amazing, so it's entirely up to you and your budget and everything, but that one does me just fine. Hot water bottle, I've got one that is like a big long sausage. It's like, I don't know, really long and like thin, and again I find that really handy because it wraps around like my back and my tummy. Sometimes if I've got like lower back pain or like my lower tummy pain, like a hot water bottle has really helped if I'm kind of sat on the sofa of an evening or laying in bed. Like I really have found a hot water bottle to be really beneficial. Rennie's, because of the heartburn. I really don't like, is it Gaviscon, like the liquid stuff? I find that really disgusting. So the orange flavoured Rennie's are a big help. Obviously vitamins, pregnancy vitamins, I'm still taking those. And I've bought some maternity clothes, not loads, but just a few staples that have really helped. So I've got one pair of maternity jeans that I don't actually wear all that much because I don't know, I just don't think it's been like the weather for them yet. I've bought 2 pairs of maternity leggings from Love Leggings, and I think they're brilliant. I get their leggings normally. They are expensive, but the quality from there is really good. So yeah, the maternity leggings I really like. I bought some maternity trousers from H&M and a couple of maternity vest tops because I was finding all of the vest tops that I had were just rolling up and it's not a cute look. So yeah, I bought some proper maternity vest tops, which I know probably actually does sound like a few bits, but in reality, like, it's just a couple of extra kind of staples that have slotted into my wardrobe and have really helped with dressing this new body. And I've treated myself to a couple of new pairs of pajamas from Primark, and I bought them in like 2-3 sizes bigger, and they're huge, but oh my goodness, they're comfy. I got a black pair and a navy pair, and they're gonna see me right through pregnancy, postpartum, and yeah, they make me feel like I've got my stuff together because they're matching, and they just feel a little bit more glam. Not even glam, but like, I just feel a bit nicer. I feel like it's easy in pregnancy to just feel a bit like, oh, like nothing looks nice, or I don't know, like pajamas, my walking around my belly hanging out. So it's nice to have ones that like are big and oversized and yeah, cover me up. So I think that is everything I've kind of got to mention. I've written a few notes, like I said, and I think I've covered them all, but I'm sorry I waffled a little bit. I'm just really passionate about like people getting a birth that they deserve, and obviously doing that in a safe way, but I don't necessarily think that maternity care is always designed to have like your best interest at heart or the baby's best interest at heart. I think sometimes, unfortunately, because they're underfunded and understaffed, it's about doing things as efficiently and just like getting you through the system. I don't know. I'm gonna stop waffling because, like I said, I've already done that enough. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you are currently pregnant, please let me know how far along you are, and congratulations. I hope you're doing really well. I hope you're not suffering too much with any yucky symptoms, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye guys. Mwah.